Hello and good evening, messy girls. I hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday. So, a lot of y'all commented on one of my last videos where I mentioned my theory about G3 possibly being canceled last year. And y'all said y'all wanted me to make a video going a bit deeper into my theory. And that's exactly what this is. So, you already know what the deal is. Grab your joint, grab you a glass of wine. Maybe you drink a little Hennessy. Maybe you're not really a wine person. Maybe you like dark liquor. I know I do shit. Um, if you don't drink or smoke, grab a snack. Just get comfortable because we gonna be here for a while. Cause y'all know I like to rant. That's why I'm trying to hurry this intro up so this video ain't super long. All right, let's get into it. So y'all already know I can't stand G3. I feel like it's filled with a bunch of woke bullcrap and it's simply just to cater to a certain demographic, which is today's youth kind of. I don't even want to say the youth because I don't even think that the youth really give a fuck about it, which I think is funny because this show is supposed to be uh catered toward younger kids. So the fact that they kind of have this huge uh they have this huge thing with just wanting to represent the LGBT community, even though it's for little kids and their target demographic really knows nothing about that. I still find just weird to this day. Like, what are you trying to do here? I don't know. Um, but anyway, so like I said, y'all know I can't stand G3 for a multitude of reasons, just because it makes no sense. Not only with that, the characters make no sense to me. Um, the plot, the lore doesn't really make any sense to me. The only thing that makes sense is the whole talisman thing, and everything else, like the plot and the story of the show, it was just very simple. It was very watered down. It was very cheesy, generic, and boring. Like every episode basically had the lesson of be nice. Be nice to people. Don't do this, don't touch that. You see what I'm saying? Just very childish, very babyish, even though a lot of kids shows go out of their way to teach a lot more lessons about overcoming adversity. You see what I'm saying? G1 Monster High, for example, we learned a lot from the lessons that they taught us, from police brutality and racism and colorism and yeah, all that other shit. Anyways, so the G3 lore was already trash, so I don't think that there was really much chance of the show saving the brand from any sort of cancellation whatsoever. Even though it already got canceled and it had nothing to do with the show and it had everything to do with Dan Schneider getting exposed. I don't know why him getting exposed led to Nickelodeon wanting to cancel a few shows such as Monster High. I don't know. Or not Nickelodeon, Paramount technically. But yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. But I'm not complaining because, like I said, that show was god awful. If you watch it, you'll see why. Y'all probably think I'm over exaggerating, but ooh, girl, I shit you not. That show is so bad. But anyways, okay. So this is what I wanted to get into. You notice how the dolls almost look nothing like the characters in the show. They dress alike, sorta, except Cleo. But like proportion wise, they don't really look alike. Like the dolls kind of have a bit more of a fashion doll proportion. You see what I'm saying? But the characters in the show, I don't know, they look like the same type of character you would see off like Paw Patrol or something like that. I don't know. I'm trying to make it make sense. But anyways, I always found it kind of odd that the dolls had a different kind of build than the characters in the show. And I believe it's because the show was meant to target a younger demographic, but the dolls were meant to be more marketable towards the older audience. That was the first thing they did wrong. Let me start there. Because let me tell you, if the show was made to be catered to the same audience that the dolls were meant to be catered to, I think that the show, well, it still probably would have been canceled, but I think that it would have been much better and it would have been it would have been much more positively received through the Monster High community. Now, there is a G3 community that loves the show, absolutely adores it, but it's not because of the actual plot and the lore of the show. If you peep what they talk about mostly within the show, they're talking about the canon relationships. That being Cleo and Frankie, that being Cleo or shit, that being Frankie being non-binary, that being some other gay fucking couple that they want to be together. But anyways, I really don't know if they're going to attempt to make another show accompanying the G3 doll line. Um, I figured they kind of would, because I feel like it's boring to just have a standalone doll line and not really have a show with like some sort of plot or lore accompanying the doll line. So like upcoming releases, if it's a certain theme, you see what I'm saying? Like it would just kind of make sense as to, oh, that's why they have this thing, because in the show this ended up happening. You see what I'm saying? Like you follow along with the show, and you get the dolls based off that, or you just get them because you found them pretty. But anyways, so now that the show is done, I wonder what that's going to look like with upcoming future releases of G3. Now here's the thing. Now they do have a show on YouTube that they could continue, but I don't think a lot of people really pay attention to that. I kind of did at one point. It was literally for a brief second, and that's only because I thought that the whole mystery finding thing was kind of cool, and I like that the proportions match the proportions of the dolls. That's it. That's all I give it. I haven't really watched a lot more to criticize it, and I don't want to, because I don't want it to ruin the only piece of G3 media that I actually kind of like. But yeah, so here's the thing though. The big question with G3 dolls is who the fuck is buying them. Now, there are people buying them. They are getting sold. Let's be fucking for real. They are getting sold, but who's buying them? Is it parents buying them for the most part for their kids? Or is it the older adult collectors? I can answer that for you in two ways. I think that the kids lean more toward Draculaura just because of her color scheme. The adult collectors lean a bit more towards Frankie and Claudine and Cleo and Laguna and all the other characters. Now, there are some little kids who will want some of the other characters, but I don't think it's as common, because I don't see the other characters really flying off the shelves as much. And I'm talking across the board. The only thing that I really see flying off the shelves is Ultimate Secrets dolls and Draculaura dolls. Everything else kind of stays there. Monster Ball stays there. Scaradise Island stays there. And then the core dolls kind of stay there. Sort of, kind of. Laguna, Cleo. I never see Draculaura. I never see core fucking Draculaura anymore. Crazy. Frankie doesn't really fly like that. But anyways, I'm saying this to say, like, older collectors are really the ones that are buying G3 dolls. I'm not saying adult collectors, because I have seen a few teenagers who have looked in the Monster High aisle and bought a few dolls. I used to work at a retail store. I worked there for about a year. So I've seen that aisle and the traffic in that aisle a few times, specifically during the G3 era. But if that is the case, right, and it's mostly them, then I think that Monster High is going to have to go in a direction where they're going to have to use these dolls to be more marketable toward an older audience. They cannot downgrade in terms of quality. They got to step it up, because now they have to kind of cater more toward their older audience, because I don't think kids are going to be into it all like that, because there's no show to follow along. That's kind of what I was getting toward about the show. If there was kids watching it, then they were probably getting Monster High dolls because they watched the show. With that being said, it's not something that I believe that Mattel won't do. Like, I can see them pouring more budget into like G3 dolls, but is it something that they're actually gonna do? I ask this because I've noticed how Mattel has been catering to the adult audience a lot more with G1 lore. First, it started with a book, or actually, no, technically, first it started with Kree Productions. Then it started with a restock and, the release of Wave 2. Then it was a book, somewhere in between that. Then there was a comic. y'all gotta help me out here. There's something else in between that. But anyways, they're building more and more G1 lore type of stuff. They're even making more dolls specifically in the G1 universe. Like Latasha Leon, what's her name? Lorna Loomington, something like that. I said Latasha Leon. Where the fuck did I get that from? Um but anyways, yeah. So my theory was kind of based on those big factors alone, the G3 show coming to an end and them making a lot more G1 centric stuff, because they probably won't have the young audience looking at Monster High like they used to because there's no show. They may have to rely on Monster High being bought by the older demographic, because I don't see them making another show anytime soon. And I don't think that the kids were a big consumer anyway. So what I think will happen is G3 will eventually begin to trickle down, because that's what happens with a lot of doll lines. Eventually they'll start to trickle down after a few big releases. It's like, okay, we made our point, we did our big one, it's okay to kind of like come down a little bit. You see what I'm saying? But when they do come down, because you got to think they already spent a big budget on or a bigger budget on Monster Fest. And then right before that, we got Scared Ice Island. That was a budget line. But we got Skulltimate Secrets. We're getting another Skulltimate Secrets. Skulltimate Secrets 4 that's about to come out. And then we were just told that we're getting another one, which is Garden Mystery, Skulltimate Secrets 5. But unfortunately, within the foreseeable future, I see them eventually kind of trickling down a little bit, because I just think that the hype surrounding G3 is kind of starting to die down. I feel like brands like Rainbow High and OMG, they're probably going to make a comeback later within this year or early next year. And then that's really going to do damage to like G3 and their sales and stuff like that. But all in all, I feel like G3 could survive MGA's wave of all their new dolls, because I feel like MGA is coming. I really feel like they're coming. I swear I do. When I seen the newest OMG dolls, I was like, oh, okay, they still got it. I think they was kind of just trying to recuperate from Rainbow Vision, because they ended up spending a lot of money and they probably ended up losing a lot of money. So they like, okay, maybe we need to chill, maybe we need to take a break, but baby, we ain't gone nowhere. Okay, we still MGA, we still the baddest. We gonna do our big one, and it's gonna blow Mattel out the fucking water. Trust me, they're gonna end up making a comeback, and it's gonna do some serious damage. OMG, just you wait. But I feel like Monster High could survive if they took more risk, if they did more with the Monster High G3 designs. They keep them very basic. They keep them very kid friendly. The kid friendly part, there's nothing wrong with that. But the way how they put the pieces together, the way how they style them is just so ugly. When MGA come out with they shit, no matter what Monster High does, people are going to go to MGA because they know how to dress their fucking dolls, and they come with pieces that people actually like restyling with. G3 rarely has that. You see what I'm saying? Like, they clothes is very I don't like this shit. I want to dress my shit up in some Bratz clothes or something. You see what I'm saying? Or a Rainbow High outfit. Like, they have outfits that you actually want to use to restyle other dolls. G3 doesn't really have that. They don't take a lot of risk with the makeup. They don't take a lot of risk with giving them different hairstyles and just giving them different unique looks that still kind of matches their doll color palette, personality. You see what I'm saying? And eventually I think people will just get bored. You feel me? So with that, and then again with the G1 lore kind of creeping back up, I think eventually Mattel is going to start using more of the G3 budget for the G1 lore budget, and they're going to try and build off that because they know that that will get sales along, mainly because of nostalgia. But I just don't think that they're going to use G3 to really compete with all of the new stuff that's getting ready to come out. They're not going to use G3 and level them up in a way that's going to be like, oh, I can see them surviving another 2-3 years. You see what I'm saying? Because the way how they move with G3 is just very lazy. And I know y'all probably like, oh, but look at Monster Fest. They did a great job with all of the colors and giving them accessories and stuff like that. But look at what they did to Draculaura. You see what I'm saying? And then let me also say this. Now the core refresh was better, but I still don't think it's good enough to beat its competition, which is MGA. Also, like I said, Mattel has a tendency to be inconsistent. Look at what they did with Ultimate Secrets 4. It really pisses me off that all of them just have this straight flat hair. And it's probably polypropylene. That to me is a signification. And then I'm not even gonna lie, just look at the pieces. Like the more and more I look at them, they look cheap. At first I was kind of excited about them, but now I look at them and I'm just like, that looks cheap as hell. But I can only imagine what Garden Mysteries is going to look like. I'm actually very scared. But G3 just kind of pick and chooses whenever they want to like give them at least a little bit of cuntiness. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. But because of their inconsistency, again, that's something else I think that's going to end up getting them tore apart and dragged through the mud by MGA. But yeah, all of this put together, whoever bought the G3 dolls because they watched the show won't have a show to watch anymore. The people that did like these dolls will probably still continue to buy them. I don't see them pulling any more customers other than the ones that they already had. I'ma just say that. I don't think that they're going to end up doing something super innovative that's going to attract people to want to collect this more. And so then the people who already do collect them will eventually get bored because of the way how Mattel moves with Monster High. They pretty much make all of the dolls look the same because they don't move too far from the doll's base. You see what I'm saying? I don't see G3 surviving much longer. I think next year will be its last good year with releases. And then after that, 2026 will probably be like its closing year. They'll start to like trickle down, like I said, and then eventually we'll get like a couple of budget dolls and that'll be it. And then I just feel like the timeline of it makes sense. Like 2022 to 2026, that's 4 years. You feel me? That's usually about the lifespan of a doll line. Like they don't usually last longer than that. Let me say this. I'm happy that G3 has lasted as long as it has. I'm happy that we were able to get dolls such as Caddy, Heath, even Claude and Abby, the twins, when they eventually come the fuck out, Venus, and even Spectra. Like, I'm happy that we were able to get like more characters. I really fucking hate that we weren't able to get new characters. Like, all of the characters we've gotten so far have been remakes of G1 characters. I really, really, really fucking hate that. I really wish that we would have gotten I wish that we would have gotten a chance to have new characters. I just can't fucking stand that, bro. I hope that before Monster High eventually decides to cancel the G3 doll line, we do end up getting Howleen. We do end up getting Nephra. I had a conspiracy video a long time ago that I never filmed for some reason about what I could possibly see G3 coming out with. And I love that we got a dollhouse. That was one of the things that I saw G3 eventually coming out with, their own dollhouse. I'm happy that we eventually got that too. One thing that I thought we were going to get was a G3 Claudia. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Because if we did, I feel like it would have been because of something that happened in the show. Same way with like Nephra, and why we're getting Nephra and Howleen, because they were very prevalent in the show. You see what I'm saying? Well, not very, but you know, prevalent. but yeah. So I don't think that we're going to be getting a G3 Claudia, which is, you know, it is what it is. But if Nephra ends up being like taller, than Cleo and Frankie, then I could absolutely see you making your own custom. Okay, car. Um, I could see you making your own custom Claudia with Claudine's head, and then maybe you could just spray paint um Nephra's body. It may have wraps on it, but you'll just have to kind of deal with that. But anyways, I would love to hear your theories as well. Do you agree with my theory? Do you think that what I'm saying kind of makes sense? Or are you thinking I'm just talking a whole bunch of bullshit just because I don't like G3? Either way, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn on my post notifications so you know when I post a new video, which I'm not gonna lie, probably isn't going to be anytime soon. You see how I'm moving with YouTube now. But anyways, turn them on still anyways, because you might be getting a surprise within the next 2 or 3 weeks. I'm saying that lightly. You might be getting a surprise, and you already know what it is. Wink, wink. But anyways, I love you guys. Follow me on Instagram at Messy's Dolls. And Twitter at Messy, well, X, but Twitter at Messy's Dolls. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.